Okay, we might be working now. Maybe. I don't know exactly. Is it working? Might be. It is working. Okay, good. You have to let me know if the mic is okay and everything. Okay, right. I forgot to check what's going on with lockdown, so I'm just going to have a wee peek. Jesus. Right. Pack it in and call today a fail. I don't think so. Hey. I used to wear my hair like this. Isn't that crazy? Well, never got this long. It was sort of that long. The amount of, like, dyeing and ironing and trimming the fringe and everything. Oh my god, Gabba Gorman just hit me exactly right. I was reading and I was like, what? I just lost my shit. You're right, it is funny. But yeah. It was a lot of work. It really was. But, I can't remember what the but was going to be about. It was a lot of work. It was. I wore it like this when I was cheerleading. And then it turned out that my old cheer coach, she would put the blonde girls at the front because she thought cheerleaders should be blonde, which was super problematic because not all of us were white for a start. Yeah, no, I keep the bleach and styling just kind of this area. So yeah, when we left that team, a bunch of us left that team and made our own organisation, which is currently a thriving business. I'm not in it. I'm not like part of it in the business sense, but I was the instigator, I suppose. Like all the girls came over to us and we all pretty much dyed our hair brown or red or black or something. It was a symbol of freedom. Although for me it was a symbol of having fried my hair too much with bleach and just kind of having to slow my roll. But anyway, I'm going to switch voices for this chapter because Angelica's barely in it and I really like doing the Sharon the Barbarian voice. I think it's really funny. In a way the Daniel Craig Knives Out voice isn't. Oh, hey Josh, say hi to your cousins. Oh, it was a rival cheerleading company. We did that. We did the plot of a family movie, rebelling against a bullying cheer coach. We formed our own little ragtag company. It's weird the things that have happened in my life and I've forgotten about. But anyway. Yeah, the point was, I used to actually do my hair like this and it took a lot of work and a lot of money. So, alright, recap. I am just going to flick through the pages really quickly. I'm going to change up the voices because yeah. Hannah is getting the Sharon the Barbarian voice, and the Pepe Le Pew Knives Out voice will be Angelica's. They're just going to swap voices. It's only weird if you want it to be. Okay, alright. There was glass in Hannah's shoe, and there was a snake in her bed. And both times people were like, oh no, what a terrible accident. But both times Julia, the other sister, was like, yeah, Lucy's trying to kill us, the new kitchen maid. And Julia doesn't even know that Lucy's surname is Good, or even what that would mean. But she's still suspicious of her. The light, refreshing taste of Coke Zero. It's definitely so bad for me. But yeah, there's like 3 people here, so you guys all remember pretty much what happened. No, actually, Julia has been saying, Lucy's trying to kill us, she's trying to kill us, she's crazy. But after the glass in the shoe incident, Hannah's like, oh my god, Lucy is trying to kill us. And Hannah's like, Julia is like, yeah, no, I don't think so. Like, this could just be, you know, the classic glass in the shoe. But, so, they're gonna have dinner. And Julia's going on ahead after saying that Mother has left her room and is joining us tonight. Ooh. Because, you know, Angelica's gone super crazy. So. Oh yeah, I said I was gonna share a story about a taxi driver that me and Tali had in Dunedin. Oh my god. Right, so at the end of the chapter, Lucy bursts into the room and runs towards Hannah, and Hannah's like, oh no, and then, to be continued, happened. So, we got an eco cab. It's one of those, like, energy, it's one of those cars that eats electricity instead of petrol. And the guy driving it, he looked normal, you know? He looked like a man with a white hair and moustache. You know, ordinary man. So, we got in the taxi and he starts talking about how climate change has always happened, even 4,000 years ago. And it's always been happening, and it's called the weather. It's my sister, who got her master's in chemistry so she could work in clean energy and, you know, save the environment, she's in the back seat, and I'm like, oh yeah, and also it gets dark so early in the winter here. I'm from Palmerston North, so I kept trying to divert him. He was mentioning something about, I think, not that COVID was a hoax, but that it was a conspiracy thing, but I think it was a racist thing as well. But I don't remember that too well, because I was in the front seat and he was driving so dangerously. Like, just hurning across, not looking, and in Dunedin everyone drives like a crazy person, everyone walks like a crazy person. Except for the actual crazy people who are too paranoid and, you know, always look both ways. So, we were just like, without even looking at each other, we're like, oh hey, you know, you could just drop us here. No, it'll be fine. We love to walk up the hill with our heavy bags. It's our favourite part of the day. Like, drop us here, that'd be perfect. And we just didn't want to be in that car anymore because he was going to plow into somebody. Like, it was terrifying and annoying. So he let us out, and Tali just looks at me and she goes, it was an eco cab. Like, you know, he was driving an eco cab. Why did he not believe in climate change? What? It was an eco cab. So we huffed and we puffed all the way up the hill, and I mean, Charles was with me, so I couldn't risk it, you know. Fucking love this thing. This anime beast. Hey, I do, I love it. Flora's jealous, she's got her ears back. Eco cab. So, yeah. Yeah, it was the right call. We got him to drop us by, just at the foot of all of those stairs. Not the main stairs, but the heaps of stairs more further down. I'm just trying not to, like, pinpoint where I live. Not that you guys would care, but... So, okay. The Betrayal, actually the Burning, but I got the titles confused. Chapter 25 of 44. Chapter 15. Is everyone ready to begin, or... Yeah, I live on a hill. There's a lot of stairs to go up. One time my ears popped going up the stairs. But... yeah, it was cool. Your body's ready, that's good. You haven't fortified your soul. You put on your robe and wizard cap. Wizard hat. Wizard cap. Idiot. Yeah, I live on top of a guy called Hill. He's, you know, he's pretty good about it. I thought I would wait for, our other Josh to join us. But I don't know when that would be. And we've been kind of chatting for about 10 minutes now. So, since there are 3 more Fear Street Saga books after this one, I'll just get in. I'll just start. Okay, so Lucy has just burst into the room where Hannah has, you know, put her foot in the slipper that's had glass in it, and it's all fucking crazy. Hiya, Jessie! You are exactly in time for us to start. That's awesome. Her cheeks scarlet, her eyes wild, Lucy stopped a few feet in front of Hannah, breathing hard. Far out, what's she gonna do to me? I swapped voices for them. Hannah wondered, pressing against the dresser, her hands raised as if to shield herself from the maid's attack. Mrs. Mackenzie told me, Lucy stammered, pointing down. About your foot, I mean. Oh, I should call Evelyn. I'm into it now. She can watch it later. Sorry, Evelyn. Thank you. I've been breathing pretty much my whole life. Yeah, almost all of it. So Miss Mackenzie told me about your foot. Yup, Hannah managed to utter in a tight, frightened voice. Well, I came up to see if there was anything I could do. To help, that is. Far, I reckon you've done enough, Hannah replied coldly. Lucy appeared stunned by Hannah's words. Hannah immediately felt sorry. Lucy was... Oh, okay, this is Hannah's internal monologue. Far out. Lucy was just red-faced and breathing hard because she'd run up the fucking stairs to help me, Hannah realised. I'm so fucking scared of her, so suspicious of her. I believe she'd come to attack me. I'm sorry you're in pain, miss, Lucy said, lowering her eyes to the floor. If there is anything I can do for you. Yeah, cheers, Lucy, Hannah replied, softening her tone. Like, it's working so far, you know. Right, you can clean up the bloody floor. There was quite a lot of bloody blood. Take that shoe down to Mrs. Mackenzie and ask if she can clean it. Danny! I've swapped voices for Angelica and Hannah. Also, I assumed you were here because John was here. That was wrong of me. Limping gingerly, Hannah made her way past Lucy and headed downstairs to dinner. So the cliffhanger was a big waste of time, as usual. The picnic was Hannah's idea. She'd been cooped up in the house, but this is not the dinner picnic, this is like paragraph break. Here's a whole other section. She'd been cooped up in the house for 3 days nursing her injured foot. Now the foot was nearly healed and she was walking normally. Whenever somebody says they're nursing someone, I think of it as breastfeeding. So if Hannah was nursing her foot, she was like pulling her foot up and her foot was drinking, like... Never mind. Skate right over that and not, speak of it. The picnic was Hannah's idea. She'd been cooped up in the house for 3 days, breastfeeding her injured foot. Now the foot was nearly healed and she was walking normally. What an excellent idea, Julia said brightly. I shall have a basket lunch made up. We shall go out into the woods and enjoy this beautiful day. Joseph, Brandon, and Robert, remember the boys? They have younger brothers. They're boys. Joseph, Brandon, and Robert begged to come along. I promise we won't be any trouble, begged Robert, and I shall watch Brandon and Joseph carefully. Oh, that's why I haven't called Evelyn. Okay. So Fluff, the little dog, also seemed excited by the idea. The little dog leapt eagerly at the pantry door, whimpering to go out into the sunshine. Dog being played by Charles. My emotional support son. Go and get dressed, Julia instructed her sister. I shall go speak to Lucy about preparing our lunch basket. The mention of Lucy's name gave Hannah a chill. She had avoided the maid for 3 days. Hannah realized she was perhaps being unfair. Lucy couldn't be deliberately trying to hurt the two fierce sisters. What reason could she have? Just the same, Hannah had decided to avoid Lucy and to have as little to do with her as possible. Pushing Lucy out of her mind, she hurried upstairs to get changed for the picnic. Why do they call it Indian summer? Brandon asked. Oh, fucked if I know, Hannah told him. Probably racism. And today is certainly the most beautiful Indian summer day. The sun was high, seeming to float above tiny puffs of white cloud. Fling. Leaves shimmered brightly on the tall trees at the back of the lawn. They were still summer green, although autumn was here. Despite the sunshine, the air carried a chill. Hannah wrapped her light blue shawl around her as she watched Fluff scamper through the tall grass. Joseph, don't chase Fluff, Julia ordered. You're getting the poor dog all excited. I reckon Fluff's already excited, Hannah told her, laughing, as the dog rolled onto its back and frantically kicked at the air with all 4 paws. Joseph rolled on the ground, imitating the dog. It was weird because he was 24. Robert, hold the picnic basket straight. You are going to spill everything, Julia cried. But it's so heavy, Robert complained. What did Lucy pack in here? An elephant? Yeah, a lot of stuff would have gone differently. Far out, the flowers are beautiful, Hannah said, pleased to be out of the house. Oh, Julia, we've still got roses. Julia didn't reply. She was distracted by Fluff and Joseph. Joseph, she called, look out. Do not let the dog fall into that hole. No, Danny, Robert's not you. He doesn't take every opportunity. So he can't do anything straight because he's super gay. Daddy does this all the time, like every joke. If you're like, oh, I can't keep my thoughts straight, you're like, I can never keep my thoughts straight. Do you know why? So I bought her a t-shirt from AliExpress that says I can't think straight, and it looks great on her, and I'm amazing, basically. Oh, at the edge of the woods, they all stopped to watch Fluff as he neared a burial plot. With Joseph close behind, the dog ran to the edge of the freshly dug grave, sniffed along the sides at the moist, dark dirt, and then came trotting back towards Robert, Brandon, and the girls. Why is there a new grave? Robert asked, shifting the heavy picnic basket to his other hand, his eyes on the deep hole. All kids love playing. Go straight to bed. She can't. All the kids in this love playing in graves. It's crazy. Did you not hear about Jenkins, the gardener? Julia asked. He passed away in his sleep 2 nights ago. He is to be buried this afternoon. Fucking hell. I brushed my wig and now a bunch of synthetic hair is making my track pants really itchy. It fell on my pants. I don't know what to do about it. Far, he was a kindly man, Hannah said softly. And look at his fine fucking work all around us. She gestured to the flower garden that stretched along the back of the house, bordered on one side by tall rose trellises. Hannah stepped closer to the grave, staring down into the deep rectangle of dark earth. How strange to think that Jenkins was walking around in our yard just 2 days ago, she thought with some sadness. And in a couple hours he's going to rest in this underground hole. Forever. Remove that solemn frown from your face, sister, Julia urged, stepping up beside Hannah. Let us not allow this to spoil our fun today. Hannah forced a smile and turned away from the grave. Yeah, into the woods, everyone, she called brightly, and started to run towards the trees, her blue shawl flapping behind her gingham dress. The woods behind the Fair mansion seemed to stretch on forever. The 5 picnickers ran into the shadows of the tall trees. Their heavy shoes made the twigs on the ground crackle and snap. Far, it's almost cold here under the trees, Hannah exclaimed. How far do we have to walk? This basket is heavy, Robert complained. We can set it down when we come to a clearing, Julia told him. Look at Fluff, Joseph cried, pointing. The dog had chased a squirrel up a tree and was now trying to climb the trunk after it. Does he not know that dogs cannot climb trees? Julia asked her sister. Hannah laughed. Huh! Fluff doesn't know he's a dog, she replied. That's fair. If he's a fair dog, he probably doesn't know a lot of things. They continued through the woods, enjoying the cool pine-scented air, watching for squirrels and chipmunks. Joseph chased after Fluff, running and jumping and barking as if he too were a dog. He probably thinks he is. They're the Fair family, they're not full of geniosity. Robert shifted the basket from hand to hand, complaining about its weight. Brandon picked up stones and threw them on the path. Does Father know we're having a picnic in the woods? He asked Julia. I wanted to tell him, she replied, brushing a white burr from the front of her long gingham skirt. But he was upstairs in Mother's room. She was having another one of her spells, I'm afraid. Nah, they're probably rooting, Hannah said, rolling her eyes. No, she said, Mother and her spells. I think they were probably rooting. Here's a nice clearing, Robert said happily. Yes, all right, my love. Come on. Come on. Fitzy. What is the matter with you, eh? Fitz. Quick. got no idea that you guys are all waiting. Come on. I will shut the door. Okay, ready? Quick? No. Okay. You gotta shut the door. Oh, yeah. Right, international audience. Thank you, Nick. Yeah, rooting is, what other people call... What do they call overseas? Canoeing. Canoodling. It's fucking... I don't know why we say rooting, but we do. And it's funny. Here's a nice clearing, Robert said happily. A circle of tall grass appeared like an oasis among the trees. Can we have our lunch here? Very well, Julia agreed brightly. This shall do fine. Freedom! Robert cried, setting the basket down and stretching his arms. God, Robert's a complainer. I get it. Brington. It's also funny because we say the word route like route. Or we say the word route the proper way. Fuck it. You know what I mean. Julia and Hannah spread a red wool blanket over the grass. Fluff immediately leapt onto the blanket, tracking dirt and leaves all over it. It's okay, it's just pretending. Hannah brushed the little dog away. Julia opened the lid of the basket and began to pull items from it and set them down on the blanket. Oh, man. My favourite kind of basket has items in it. Too long rooting. You know, as long as you say, bless you, it's fine. I think. Isn't that the etiquette? Emily Post failed me. Look, is that a deer? Robert cried. Where? Joseph spun around wildly, searching all directions at once. Follow me, Robert instructed his brothers, but keep silent. Let's track him. The boys headed off at a run toward the trees. Do not go far, Julia called after them. It is almost lunchtime. Oh, far out. These little pies look bloody good, Hannah told her sister, dropping to her knees on the blanket. Suddenly I'm fucking starving. Fresh air makes me hungry too, Julia replied. Let's see. Lucy packed a little meat pie for each of us, and there are raisin cookies and a jug of fresh lemon water. I bought a lemon. I finally did it. I just don't have a clean jug at the moment, but I have the lemon. Not bad. She handed a meat pie to her sister. Let's eat. We need not wait for the boys. Hannah raised the small, doughy pie to her mouth and was about to take a bite when Fluff leapt onto her lap. Oh, far out, she cried, startled. The dog raised himself on his hind legs and sniffed the pie in Hannah's hand noisily. Router. Yeah, Router. I don't know whose tweet it was, but I saw the lemons, and all of your combined, willpower travelled through the universe, and when I saw the lemon, my brain went, lemon! And I bought one. You little beggar, Hannah cried, laughing. Get off me and I'll give you a taste. Haven't we all said that? Ignoring her, Fluff leapt high, trying to get his teeth on the meat pie. Yeah, all right, here's a bit for you, Hannah said, using one hand to shove the dog off her lap. She broke off a tiny wedge of pie and held it out to Fluff. The dog yipped and slurped it up eagerly, licking his hand clean. Stop it! You're fucking tickling me, she cried, laughing. Oh, what a scratchy tongue you've got, doggy. You do spoil that dog, Julia grumbled good-naturedly. Yeah, I tried to make American lemonade as a child, and I didn't like it. I thought I was doing it wrong, but lemon water, I'm happy with that. Hannah gave Fluff another piece of the pie. "Where are the boys?" Julia asked. She climbed to her feet, shielding her eyes with one hand, and searched the woods for them. "I hope they haven't wandered far," Hannah said, following her sister's gaze. "Robbie has no sense of direction. He can get lost in the house." So can Sharon. Sugar-free lemonade. It's just water with some lemons in it. It's nice. Hearing a strange sound. Okay, here's where, if Evelyn is watching this in the future, you're going to want to stop watching. So, where's my red flag? This will do it. Yeah. Okay, here's my red flag. Evelyn, don't push play again until the red flag is gone. Hearing a strange sound, Hannah turned back to Fluff. The little dog, basically, I'm not going to read it all out because it'll make me really sad, but essentially the dog dies. "Oh, far out, Fluff! Julia, what's happened?" Hannah carefully lifted the dog, ... and held him tightly against the front of her dress. "Oh, far, he's dead," she muttered. "No," Julia cried in horror. "Hannah, he cannot be. He..." Tears formed in the corners of Julia's grey eyes. "Oh, poor Fluff. Poor bloody Fluff. Poor Fluff," Hannah repeated quietly, still hugging him to her. "No, I do not believe it," Julia cried, shaking her head. "The dog was perfectly fine until... Both girls had the idea at the same time. I'm going to put the flag jersey. I'm going to put the jersey down when we've stopped talking about the dog dying at all. It's not because it's gory, it's because harm came unto a dog. Both girls had the idea at the same time. "Oh, the pies!" Hannah cried. "Always blow on the pie and give a bit to your dog." Her eyes widened in horror and she gaped at her sister. "Julia, did you..." Julia lowered her eyes to the pie beside her on the blanket. "No, I did not touch mine. You?" Hannah shook her head. "Nah, just Fluff. He was the only one to eat. Now the poor bloody dog's dead." "Poisoned," Julia muttered. Hannah gasped. "What did you say?" "Poisoned," Julia cried, wiping the tears from her eyes. "Lucy, she poisoned the pies. She had to." "Nah," Hannah cried, lowering the dog to the blanket, her features set in horror. "You don't think..." "Lucy," her sister replied, shaking her head. "She almost murdered us all." Hannah swallowed hard, her heart thudding wildly against her chest. She climbed quickly to her feet, her expression frightened. "Far out, where are the boys?" she asked, searching the woods. "Julia, get the boys and bring them home. I'm going to run and tell Dad. He must know what Lucy's done. At once!" And then she just runs off Naruto style with her arms at her side. That's all I know about Naruto. That's it. I know it's a drawing on the TV. So I know two things. As Hannah ran through the woods toward the house, tears rolled down her cheeks. ... If only Hannah had told her father her suspicions about Lucy after finding the shard of glass in her shoe, then Fluff would be alive. "I'll tell Father everything now," Hannah told herself. "Far out, I'll tell Dad everything right now," Hannah told herself. "And that maid will be fucking gone before she can kill again." The back of the rambling Fear mansion came into view. Hannah slowed a little as she passed the burial plot. A closed pine coffin had been set down at the edge of the fresh grave. "Oh, Jenkins must be in it," Hannah realised. "Funeral will be held in a few minutes." Thinking of Fluff, a loud sob escaped her throat. It's exactly the same as her laugh, but she... Yeah, that's all I need to know. I'm on a want-to-know basis, and I don't want to know. Come on. It's raining now. Good boy. Gave a little meow like his heart was breaking. It's not even cold out there. He just didn't want to come in. Hannah turned away from the narrow coffin and ran the rest of the way to the house. She burst through the door to the back pantry. "Father! Father! Are you downstairs?" she called breathlessly. No reply. In the kitchen, bright sunlight streamed across the floor from the back window. "Father! Father!" No one there. Frantically, Hannah started toward the hallway, but a black uniformed figure moved quickly to block her path. "Oh, Lucy!" End of chapter. What? Actually, I know this has been a really short read, but I think I'm going to wrap it up there. Because, oh, hello, baby boy. The animals they want their dinner. Come on then. Come on. They want their dinner and their dental TREATSs. I think they know that word, I'm not sure. So I'm going to leave it on that little exciting note, and I'm probably going to stream some Dead Rising in a little bit. Because this day is just going to get crazier. Not today, the day in the book. So, thank you very much for being here, guys. I'm sorry it's been so long between episodes. But, oh! Ooh, onion marmalade, nice. My desk arrived. It's not really a desk, it's a, you know how when you're in hospital, they've got like the little desk thing that comes over the bed. I found one like that really cheap, and I bought it ages ago. And they had a mess up in the warehouse and never sent it. And I was like, damn, where is it? Hi, Phil. We're just wrapping up. We're just ending it. I gotta put a disclaimer for Evelyn on here as well. So I've just got to assemble that. It's like, I've looked at the instructions, it's super easy. And it's like adjustable. It can go up and down, so it should make, yeah, that kind of thing, yeah. So I should be able to, sit in the lazy boy and use it, or use it for dirtbag yoga, and bring it up when I'm standing and down when I'm sitting, and it would save me, moving the laptop around, which is always a bit of a worry, with the microphone attached to it and everything. So yeah, assembling my desk tonight. So excited. And I'll get a picture of it or whatever. But yeah, I should be able to use it like from the couch and from a chair and from the bed and from, I guess, the bathroom, but I'm not going to. But I think it will be possible. Ah, that's awesome. I'm very excited to set it up. Ooh, bamboo. Yeah, so thank you, everybody. And I will see you tomorrow, which is a Friday. Yes, it is. Alright. Stay safe. Be good. And if you can't be good, be clever. I keep thinking that's such a fun uncle thing to say. I'm so proud of it. Hell yes. See you guys. Thank you for